So, welcome to the Healing Perfectionism Masterclass. As you can notice, I spelled this wrong on purpose. Did anyone catch that? No, right? No one caught that. So, this is one of the first concepts that I wanted to touch upon. So many times we freak out about the smallest thing. Like, oh my God, this is spelled wrong. Oh my God, this is terrible. This didn't sound right. This little gap in this. And no one is truly looking to pick you apart other than yourself and other than the haters who aren't your audience. And when you are able to kind of look at things from a higher layer, more than all of the little small idiosyncrasies, more than all of the little tiny details, the things that probably don't even matter. It's about the energy and intention in which you put things out into the world. And I think that this is one of the greatest concepts because even for myself, there's been so many projects that I was working on that I'm now putting out because I finally healed this concept in myself. And like what I'll say too is like nothing is ever 100% healed. There's still parts of this that I'm struggling with, but what I will say is it's something that I've consciously put work into and recognizing where this comes from and doing deeper healings about this concept. One thing that I'll say is one of the largest examples is my Money Magic ebook. Ask me when I finished this ebook, the first version of this. 2021, I finished this ebook. I literally finished it in 2021, 150 pages. There was like some things that, weren't done, some things like here and there and stuff like that. But ask me when I released it, 2023. What did it do within that time? It sat in my inbox just waiting for me to launch it out to the world. How many times did I tease it and not put it out? Over 20. Over 20. And this was something that like each time that I was like teasing it, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna fix that little thing and then I'm gonna put it out. Oh, I'm just gonna do this and then I'll put it out. I'm just gonna do this and then I'll put it out. And then I noticed myself like getting into a loop about it. And every single time I was about to put it out, there was something else that I had to change about it, something else that I had to fix. And then I got into this whole thing in my head that I needed to do all these things before I put it out. And there were certain things that I didn't even do, and I put it out after I did this healing. And then everyone who received it loved it. And this was like a huge healing for me because it made me realize how many other smaller projects and how many other things I was working on that in my mind, it's not perfect. It's not ready. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm comparing myself to this coach and this coach. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not going to look as good as their stuff, or it's not going to be as good as theirs. Oh my God, they have a sales funnel landing page that looks like this too with it. Oh my God, I don't have that ready. And just getting into loops and loops in my mind. And then when I finally was like, all right, let me just put the fucking thing out, I literally made 50 sales after I put this thing out, just like that. And it was like, it was just the universe was waiting for me to step into this energy and put that out to the world. And it also affirmed for me like how many people were waiting to hear my voice and what I had to say. Even though there was other people doing something similar, it was my unique source that brought it together. So yeah, so most of you guys know me, but just a little introduction for those who don't. I was listed on the 30 under 30 with Long Island Business News, but even that was a whole journey. Like where I started is I had severe depression when I was younger, and I basically experienced a lot of different like childhood and generational traumas in my life. And my first big blocker was exactly what was brought up before in our conversation. It was the fear of being seen and the fear of even my traditions and my family being judged. And all of these things was like, I can't put this out there unless it's perfect because they're going to judge me if I put this thing out. And that was a huge blocker in my life because I became scared to post. I became scared to be seen. And when I actually healed this, it was about me moving out and finding my independence. Then I started posting and doing all this stuff. And then I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, they're going to judge me even if this thing is perfect. Even if it's a 99, they're going to judge me for the other point. So I might as well just own what I'm bringing to the world and just put it out there. And when I finally was able to step into this energy, it was like, boom, the universe just blew everything open. And there's still challenges, of course, along the way. And sometimes I've even made big mistakes in things that I was producing. And at the end of the day, I learned through those mistakes, but at the same time, I was able to work hard and make an impact and put out my energy and intention to the universe, which at the end of the day, all of those little mistakes didn't matter if I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to do on this earth, which is this soul business. And by nature, as human beings, nothing that we do is ever going to be perfect as well. So, tuning in. So, I basically like kind of tuned into like what is perfectionism. So, it's like striving for flawlessness, which can be motivating on one side, but at the same time, it also creates anxiety. It's the key traits of this include a fear of failure, all of nothing thinking, which means like that's what I got into with this book was just like, if I don't fix all these little things, I can't put this out at all. Self criticism, approval seeking, being like, oh my God, if this is good by this person, then I could finally put this out. This person, then I could finally put this out. Overworking, spending too much time on the smallest little things, and basically learning to balance self-love and perfectionism. So in these energies, learning what is the one that kind of like when you hear that you're like, all right, that's the thing that's like tugging at me right now. So one of the things with myself too was that I was focusing so much on other people's projects and trying to perfect them and trying to do this and trying to do that, that I was taking away from my own self love and I was constantly self criticizing myself. So I was ending up in these loops and cycles where I had so many different projects that I could have sent to people or I could have done, but I was holding it back. And even for myself. And what I realized with this is that there are so many different pieces layered in this when I dove into the root that helped me to realize why I was repeating these patterns. My mentor taught me this concept that our businesses can only grow, especially as solopreneurs, especially as soulpreneurs, that we can only grow as big as we're willing to work on ourselves. So by by being willing to meet ourselves where that blocker is, by being willing to look at ourselves in the mirror and being like, all right, this is the pattern that's showing up. This is the work that I need to do. That is what opens the gateway to the next level of your business and also yourself. So there is a positive side to perfectionism, and this is why a lot of people actually hold on to these qualities. It's because there is on a certain level a benefit to perfectionism. And what I'll talk about during this presentation is finding the balance where you're tuning into some of the aspects of the positive, recognizing the negative, and meeting yourself in the middle with this concept. So, while a strive for excellence is important, at the end of the day, it's helping you lead to high quality presentation, But if it's leading to procrastination, that's when it's going over the line. So when perfectionism is leading to procrastination, that's one of the biggest indicators that you're leaning too far into the negative. Some of the positive things about perfectionism is that it helps you to maintain a certain level of quality for your brand. It allows you to have certain attention to detail, and it also opens you up to continuous improvement. And these qualities are important, and it's important to recognize why perfectionism exists, but it's also important to recognize the other side of the coin as well. So the negative. So number one is procrastination. Is when you are like, I'm not going to put out this product because it's not perfect. I need to change this. I need to change this. And you're overly doing it to yourself. It could be like when you start to recognize, you're like, oh my God, this period, this little small thing, like literally, like the line is in the wrong place. You know, when you know intuitively when you're doing this to yourself, when you're self sabotaging yourself through that procrastination. You know it. We all know it when we do it. So, this can lead to burnout because what you're going to end up doing is you're going to start piling on all of these projects. So, while you're moving forward in your business and you're trying to do these different things, you're still going to have these old stuff that you never launched in the background. One thing that I learned, I'm going to teach you guys about this healing, is learning when that line is that, okay, this is good enough, and then putting it out there. So, over over perfectionism can lead to inefficiency, missing deadlines, and even stifling your own creativity because you're comparing yourself to other people. You're like, oh my God, compared to this person, I need to have this look, this energy, this brand, this. So then it's like you're not satisfied with your work, and you end up holding back from putting those projects out. And you're micromanaging yourself too. So, one of the most important things in this healing is understanding where perfectionism stems from. And as we all know, the root of everything negative stems from trauma. What kind of trauma we have packed in here? So, one of the main things is looking into your childhood traumas. Oftentimes, like perfectionists had a negative experience in their childhood where they were told they weren't good enough, where they were comparing themselves to their classmates, where even at home they were told that what they were doing to perform wasn't good enough. So there's this feeling that's ingrained into your mind that somewhere you're not good enough and that you have to overcompensate and make up for that energy. And it's like when that energy is ingrained into childhood, then it's those are the deep levels of healing that you need to do is that inner child work. And sometimes it's not easy going back to those memories and remembering certain things that happened, but that's the power that you have is being able to look at yourself and recognizing where you were in environments that were highly critical that could impact who you are today. And also being surrounded in that environment, it could also make you feel like you're constantly being judged, even though no one cares, you know? And in our minds, we're like, oh my God, if I mess this thing up, everyone's gonna notice. And if I spelled this thing wrong, like everyone's gonna know. And then they're gonna shun me from the internet and I'm gonna be kicked off of Instagram. Like, we just spiral into these thoughts about random things. And then half of the time we put something out, like there's something spelled wrong. Oops, like I can always go back and fix it, or I can even like a repost something different or maybe no one will even notice. Like like part of this is allowing yourself to let go but still having that standard for yourself. It's really about recognizing the line. Cultural and societal pressures. This is something that in a lot of cultures, like there's this ingrainment of perfectionism, especially for the way that I grew up. It was just very high standards coming from immigrant parents. It was like if you didn't do this, if you didn't get 100 or you got a 99, you're missing 1 point. It's like these thoughts actually come from their own, you know, traumas, their own necessity for perfectionism to even strive to come to America. So they went through their own traumas. They went through their own things in also those third world countries as well. They were constantly judged. They went through their own traumas, but they then passed it on to you, who's now holding this trauma. And now it's up to you to heal this beautiful gift of trauma they have given us. And that's the thing with this. It's like, you know, with generational traumas, it's like once you become aware, that's when you're able to step into your healing. So, all of this can lead to also low self esteem, which is like a feeling when you feel like what you're putting out is not good enough, where you're just constantly judging yourself. You're constantly comparing yourself to others, and you're like, oh my God, this coach did this, and I didn't do this. Um, these can all be connected together. So, a huge part of this is one, this is really important because it's important for you to kind of tune into the source of where your perfectionism is coming from in order to heal it. So during today's session, we're actually going to do a little meditation together. So we're going to do a little hop in like that. Just hop on in to the boat of our memories and see what's brewed in there. Okay. So one of the most important concepts when it comes to perfectionism, and this is like kind of like a term that many businesses use. It's called the minimum viable product. It is good enough to put out there. I can always tweak it. So the minimum viable product, we're going to abbreviate it as MVP, is essentially like when it's good enough to put out there to the world where you feel like it meets your quality and standards. There might be a few things that you're like, okay, I like kind of want to change this, but at this point, I'm like just going overboard. This is the level that I feel good with energetically putting it out where it matches my intention, it matches my energy, and I know that this is good enough. And maybe no one will actually notice like all of these little things that I think are terrible. But in the grand scheme of things, probably no one's gonna know. So it's kind of like um it's an interesting space to be when you discover what your minimum viable product is, because it's a journey. Like you have to really tap into yourself and your intuition, exactly what Liz was saying when she's holding that crystal and she knows like, okay, maybe there's an edge here, but I feel good with what's produced, I feel good with what's here. And especially if something is intangible, it's kind of hard to judge what that minimum viable product is. But I feel like a big part of this is just listening into your intuition. So it's all about creating a version of your product that has the essential features needed to provide value to your clients. It's like planting the seeds of your garden. You start small, nurture it, and watch it grow based on the needs and feedback of your community. So it's possible too that you launch this thing and everyone freaking loves this thing, But at the end of the day, no matter how much you groom that thing, no matter how much you comb it and snip it, if there's gonna be mistakes, it's gonna happen regardless of how much you hold that thing back. After a certain point, when you launch it, that's when you discover what the little pieces are. And this is also about you being comfortable with receiving criticism, constructive criticism, and being like, oh, there was spaces where I can improve. Thank you so much. I'm going to improve this, and I hope you gained value from this, and I can keep on going. So it's about finding that nice threshold for yourself with your products, and also even having a conversation with yourself where you're literally outlining to yourself like, okay, this is the bigger vision of this thing that I want to create, and this is where I'm at now. I feel good with it being here before I launch it so that I could put this thing out there. And then you can always depending on the thing, you can always add on to it, create other versions. And like, even for example, when I was doing my money magic ebook, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to change this. And this person's going to notice this. And this person's going to notice that. And there's this and this and this. Literally, no one who's bought the book has literally ever said anything to me. They're all like, oh, this was great. I'm enjoying it. And they're like just breezing through it. Like it's nothing. And that's the thing. It's like, like I said at the beginning, you judge yourself the worst then other people will judge you, especially if they appreciate what you have and are getting value from what you're providing. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the value that you're giving. So basically, this can help you to shine without burnout. So there's some keys to like really finding your minimum viable product, which is like focusing on your core offerings that are bringing value, gathering soulful feedback, like really having your tribe, listening in. Like even before I finally launched the thing, I asked like one or two friends like how does this look and stuff like that, and most of them were like, oh my God, it's amazing, this is so good, I can't wait to buy my copy. But sometimes we even hold ourselves back from like sending that out to people because we're so scared to hear what they say, but a lot of the times it's better than what we're expecting. And then another part of this is setting clear intentions for your projects, being like, okay, if I finish this amount, then it's really good. Then I feel good with putting this thing out. And it also helps you with time and energy management, because so many times it's like you're spending too much time on the tiniest little details when you still have like five other projects waiting for you to handle. Especially when you're an entrepreneur, time is key. There's always something you could be working on, always a client you could be messaging, always a graphic you could be putting out, always something else. So it's like the more you're able to kind of get in your flow of moving, the more that you're able to really tune into this energy and get things put out. I even had like some people come to me recently and they're like, "Oh my God, like how do you put out so much content? Like this is so cool." Like all this stuff, and I'm like, I literally like Danielle has seen me before. I'm just like, boo, 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 boo. Like I have no resistance. She's like, what about this? What about that? I'm like, just put it out, just put it out. And honestly, like it's amazing to see how many people connect with the content when I just put it out in a space where I feel good with it. And before time, I used to literally like sit there for hours, like racking my brain to be like, oh my God, what if they notice this? What if they notice that? But like social media in some ways is meant to be imperfect because it's run by human beings. So many times, like I've noticed even like little tiny mistakes from like major creators that I love, and I've never judged them for that. I'm just like, oh, they make mistakes just like me. They're human too. And that's the same thing with the people who admire and look at you guys too. Like you're all leaders in your industry, and sometimes we even have like imposter syndrome where we don't feel that for ourselves, but literally like you are all an inspiration to other people, and you all are living in your soul business, and just by that there's people who are out there who are truly admiring your energy, and just knowing that they're there waiting for you to put out your unique source. Okay. So, so it's time to release your project to the world. So the first thing is like, I think this is like a good, like almost like checklist in a way before you launch a project. Identify your purpose, define the core offerings, create and share, listen and reflect, nurture and grow. Like really getting this concept down to get into your flow, and asking yourself like, what is the problem that is this solving, and is the product that I'm creating effectively solving that problem, like with where it's at right now, and can I put this out there now? What's holding me back? And almost like making a list of like what's holding you back from launching that thing, then asking yourself, is this really important and really necessary for me to do all of these things to launch this things, or can I put this out and have people experience it and then give me feedback and then continue to grow from it? So one of the biggest proponents of this is also tuning into the self-love aspect. And what I would say is the deeper you love yourself, the more you're able to step in to letting go of perfectionism. And self-love for me was like one of my biggest lessons that I had to learn in my life. And like I said, like we all face challenges in our life, we all face challenges in our business, and it's so important to recognize that we are imperfect human beings with divine perfection. And just by recognizing that we all have our own unique energy and that we all have, you know, our unique thing to put out to the world, and recognizing that there's maybe people who are waiting to experience what you have to offer. This is something that can help you to embrace your projects, to embrace getting to the other side of launching that thing, getting to the other side of really putting your work out there. Yay! Do you guys have any questions? Yay! Did this resonate with you all? I feel like you're like, get out of my head. How did you know I did that?
Oh, this was excellent. It was excellent.
Yay! So we're gonna do a mini
You,
meditation now. Oh, what was the thing?
I was just going to say, you said some gold here. When perfectionism paralyzes you from moving forward, I'm going to like put that up on my mirror.
On the
That's really
mirror.
smart. Yeah.
Yes! I love it.
Yeah.
Yay! I feel like that's so good because I put little affirmations on my mirror too. And like, it's like you look at yourself in the mirror and then you're like, this is what empowers me. It's like a self reflection back to yourself. I love that, queen.
Yeah, because it stops your creativity. So that's not good. So that's a great thing to put on my mirror.
Yes.
Moving forward.
Yes. Okay, did anyone else have anything they wanted to share? Like any downloads?
Definitely the um so I don't know where like where you grew up or like your um ancestors, but mine are like South Indian, but I'm Guyanese.
I'm Guyanese too. That's so
So
funny. I
like
had no
I totally was like, oh my God, like is she like in my head about like getting 99 and like that one point that you're missing, it's like well everything else can fail because you missed one point, so like your other A's and B's like can go to hell now because like that one little thing that like you didn't get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um but I
It
never
must have been
really
in Guyanese
realized.
school. It must have been.
Maybe. But like, like I never really realized like how much all of that like really influenced me.
Yes.
I don't know. So just like, oh my God, get out of my head.
That's so crazy. Wow. What about you, Liz?
Needed to unmute.
Yes.
Ah, there's so much, so much. I wrote a lot. Let's see. There was something. Um, it was towards the beginning when you were talking about the positives and the negatives of perfectionism. The positive is, yeah, my product, people know it's going to be a good product, especially the jewelry, because I won't let it out of my shop if it's not really, really good. And I learned that growing up. My dad was a furrier, and so was I. So, I mean, his name is on the shop, so it had to be good enough for
What's
his.
that?
What's that?
What's that? The
Oh, a furrier. We make fur coats. I did remodel, so
Oh.
someone would bring in a coat and they wanted a new style, they wanted to update it. So we would take it apart lay it flat, and then cut a new pattern. So it was usually made into a jacket. So we're not using any new materials most of the time. We sew up any repairs and they have pretty much a brand new coat. And so I had to get good at matching hair height, matching color, everything had to be perfect, really, because people were paying us a lot of money for this.
Yes.
So I ended up becoming a master furrier without even realizing it. All of a sudden, I'm at a trade show with my dad in the city. And I'm like, so what do I need to do to be a master furrier? I figured I was an apprentice. And he's like, oh, you already are. You're doing remodels. I'm like, oh, cool. But yeah, so even with other things like doing the psychic fairs, I would compare myself to the other psychics.
Mm,
Recently, just even a couple months ago, I mean, I'd be accurate, but I wouldn't be doing it their way, you know? And then just a little while ago, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it my way, and I'll probably be even better at it, which is a lot like what you said about bringing your own sauce to it.
you gotta bring your sauce.
Right, because some will resonate with them, some will resonate with us. And as long as I'm helping people I can help, but if I'm
Yes.
faking it and impersonating someone else's style, how am I going to possibly help them? Or at least not as well as I would have doing it my own way.
I think that's one of the most important things is just like owning that you have your unique audience as well. Like even if there's someone that seems like they're doing amazing and then they're like a superstar and they're doing this and they're doing that, at the end of the day, not everyone is going to resonate with that person's energy regardless of who they are. There are certain people that are meant for your unique energy, and it's so important that you own that. And the more you own it, the more you amplify that, and the more confident you become, and the more like you magnetize people based on that confidence as well.
That is so true. I've seen such a difference since I made that shift. And you're also right about surrounding yourself with supportive people like you guys. I have a friend. She's wacky. I love her. And she came over just last week. We did something for the new moon. And sometimes she'll just say these nuggets that help me see myself in a whole different light.
Mm.
Like, wow, this is how you see me? That's amazing. I want to meet that person.
Mm.
And then I realize I am that person.
Are that person, and we're
Yeah,
just so judgmental to ourselves.
right, right. But I don't want it to go to my head. You know, I was always taught to be humble, which is where marketing becomes difficult for me.
I think that's important too, but at a certain level, like that perceived humbleness will also hold you back. And there's a way to also do like content where it's not about like showing off in a way, it's about impact and helping other people through your content as well.
Right. And that is what I strive for.
Yes.
And thank you
Yay.
for doing this.
Of course. We're gonna do a little meditation now. So if you guys want to get all comfy, it's gonna be maybe like a 15-minute meditation, and we're just gonna set our intentions for becoming more deeply aware of any patterns of imperfection in our lives, any root causes that we might have, anything that needs to be addressed in this moment, and also stepping into any projects that we're holding back that's ready to make its way out into the universe. Yay. I'm so proud of you guys. I feel like you've all been so vulnerable during this class, and I feel like vulnerability is truly how we heal, you know? Yay. Okay, you guys can take a moment just to get all comfy in your chairs. And you could turn off your camera if you want. You could keep it on as well. It's totally up to you. Just if you fall asleep, I won't know. I'll ask you guys when you go back to turn it off. Okay, so you guys can take a moment, just closing your eyes. You're going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths. And with every breath in through the nose, you're welcoming in pure, white, positive light into the lungs, into your body. And every exhale out through the mouth, you're letting go and releasing any tension, any anxiety, anything that you've been holding on to. So we're going to begin with a deep inhale into the nose, calling in this white positive light, calling in the sacred energy into the lungs, into your body, into your chest, and a breath out through the mouth. Just deeply exhaling and releasing anything that you're holding on to, any anxiety, any tension. And once again, we're going to do a deep breath in through the nose. This time breathing in all the way to our belly, taking another breath in through the nose, feeling our belly filled to the brim with air, taking this moment to feel this light entering into our body, this beautiful presence and energy, and breathing out through the mouth, just letting go and releasing anything that no longer serves you. And one more time, we're going to do another deep sacred breath in through the nose, summoning this breath all the way into your body, feeling this breath fill up your heart with so much love, feeling your heart being hugged by this love, taking this moment of connection, and breathing out through the mouth. Letting go and releasing anything that no longer serves you. I want you to take this moment now just to begin to feel this beautiful white cleansing light working its way down from the top of your head. You can gently feel this light working its way through the top of your head, gently massaging through and letting go, gently releasing anything that's been holding you back from listening truly into your intuition. Taking this moment to clear out any tension, any ruminating thoughts, any negativity, any harsh thoughts from the top of your head. If you feel called to, you can gently massage your temples, just feeling yourself moving out any negative energy from the top of your head and opening and welcoming in peace and clarity. Feeling yourself connecting to this beautiful space, to this divine energy within yourself, tuning in to this capacity to open up to your divine intuitive guidance. Feeling yourself opening up to your spiritual guides that are working with you on your business. Feeling yourself opening up to the potential of what you are creating for the collective. Feeling yourself embodying your presence, feeling yourself embodying your energy more deeply, tuning so deeply in to this beautiful sacred space. And you can feel this energy working its way down the tip of your nose, down your lips, down your chin, working its way through your throat, and now focusing in on your heart. Taking this moment to feel this self-love being filled to the brim back within your hearts. Taking this moment to notice and acknowledge moments where you've been harsh on yourself. I want you to take a moment to envision yourself in your place of work, in the space where you frequently go to complete your projects. What is the energy that surrounds this space? What is the energy that is here? I want you to take a moment to tune in to your book of business that you may notice on your desk. What are the things that you have held yourself back from releasing to your audience? I want you to take a moment without judgment to just observe and witness what is being shown before you. To observe and witness what are the things that you know will make an impact when you finally do set that project out. What are some goals that you have for yourself that you've been holding back from? Taking this moment to acknowledge and see what's waiting in your book. I want you to take this moment now as you look through this book, connecting to the potential, connecting to the energy that's waiting in your business. I want you to take this moment now to visualize yourself going back in time now to the moment where you felt like you were being judged, to the moments where you felt like you were not good enough. I invite you to go into a journey of self-reflection. When did you begin these patterns? Who were the people that judged you in this journey? What is holding you back from your potential? As you observe this non-judgmentally, I want you to take a moment to just acknowledge and understand maybe the reasons why there was this judgment. Whether it's coming from pressures from society, a desire to see you succeed and achieve, a desire to see you become abundant, to prove something to the world. I want you to just take a moment of what's showing up for you now, to just hold yourself and acknowledge this. Visualizing in front of you now, I want you to see the people in your life that has helped to contribute to this energy, and noticing any black smoke around them. I want you to take a moment to just wave your hand in front of them, forgiving and letting go, bringing your energy of white light to let go of any feelings of judgment, letting go of any desire to hold yourself back from what you are meant to do, letting go of anything preventing you from fully stepping in to your unique energy, letting go of any comparison, letting go of any jealousy, letting go of any criticism from your past, letting go of self-sabotage, letting go of hatred, just feeling your body become lighter and lighter as you continue to let go of these pieces, just taking this moment to let go and feel this energy moving out of your body. Taking this moment now as you continue to let go, you can begin to see this black cord leaving your body, leaving the energy of all of these people that surround you, that have been contributing these feelings of judgment to yourself. Taking this moment now to feel yourself as you emerge into this next layer of empowerment, to now see yourself walking in to the expression of your higher self, walking into the expression of the version of you that is perfectly imperfect, that is divinely imperfect, that is divinely in the presence of who they are. The version of you that has let go of procrastination. The version of you that owns and embodies her unique gifts. The versions of you that embraces the impact you're meant to make without self-sabotage and judgment on yourself. I want you to feel how big that energy is, how big you can show up for yourself, how big your energy can grow, how big your energy deserves to be. Feeling the large capacity that you have to shine in your unique light without judgment. Tuning fully in to this beautiful energy and taking this moment to own your unique magic that you bring. Emerging as this version of yourself. Showing up for yourself and your business. Showing up for the people who are waiting for your unique magic. Showing up for your unique audience. And taking this moment now, stepping into this expression, moving into this space, and taking this moment now to feel this energy moving back into your body now. Feeling this beautiful tingling sensation and activation working its way through your body, feeling your value, your worth, returning back to your body. You can begin to gently wiggle your toes and fingers, taking this moment to move your shoulders back, just feeling yourself emerging into this new energy, feeling yourself in your body much lighter than before, taking this moment to honor and own your energy in your body right now. Whenever you feel ready, you can take a moment just to begin to open your eyes. Feeling yourself coming back. And if you have a pen and paper near you, or even your phone notes, you can take a moment just to write down any downloads you received during that activation, anything that came through during that time. And whenever you feel ready, you can turn on your cameras. Yeah. Or if you, oh, okay, perfect. Yay. Woo. I've had someone fall asleep on the Zoom before, like once or twice, because they just went so deep. They literally just went to sleep, and I didn't hear from them until the next day. And I was actually like worried about them. I was like, where did they go? Are they okay? And like I literally called them, and then they responded to me at like 8 o'clock the next morning. They were like, I just fell asleep all the way and then woke up later the next day. How are you guys feeling? Yay! Who wants to share? Yay, Liz!
Okay, so I thought my next project was going to be that crystal healing course.
Yes.
Mistaken.
Like surprise!
According to my book, it said record more music, don't wait for perfection.
Oh, that's a
So
big
it's
one.
I you know what I do when I'm practicing noodling around on the harp, I record it in case there's something I like, because 5 minutes later I'll forget what I did. So I just put like the voice recorder on and I just play. And it's like there were some really nice things that I stumbled across totally by accident. And I'm like, that would make a nice song. And I had like 5 things like that that would make, oh, that would be nice. And I
Yes.
never did anything with it. It's time.
It's time. That's what I like to hear. Okay, I'm gonna challenge you, Liz, and I'm gonna
Uh-uh.
say I want you to put down a date for yourself.
Yeah. All right. A date.
Where like you can look at it and say to yourself, is this the MVP? Is this the MVP? And if
Okay.
it's not, you can always push the date back. It's important to be also flexible with yourself, but give yourself a deadline and say to yourself, is this the MVP?
I'm writing this the MVP? And I'm going to say yes, because I've done a few harp meditations where I do like sound bath and harp. And yeah, there are some sour notes in there, but it brings out a different emotion, which is all valid. So I recorded my last one. And yes, I cringe at parts of it, but the response I got from the people who were there was phenomenal.
Yes.
So I'm trying to get over myself when it comes to the music, and because it's such a personal thing
Yes.
when I'm improvising, it's so personal. It's like I'm pouring love into it. So I do the energy thing too. And then there's the sound of it.
Okay,
So,
I have one more challenge for you, and you could
uh,
choose to accept it or not.
okay.
So my challenge for you is I want you to send that to Danielle. And I want you to give Liz your honest musician feedback, knowing, you know, going through this, you've been through the motions with music and everything. Just giving yourself the grace and space for soulful feedback and just being like, is this ready? You know?
I'm good with doing it. I worked at Geico. We got feedback all the time.
Yay, amazing.
If you're willing, Danielle, I would love to send to you. Thank you.
Yay. Oh,
Thank
I
you so
love
much.
it. Spirit set it up on purpose.
Yes, yes.
You guys
Thank
both
you,
have
Danielle.
have music buddies now.
That would be great. Maybe we can even play together.
Yes, I would love that.
That would be fun.
Did a whole harp symphony and a Guyanese symphony occurring.
We'll give you the tongue drum to play.
Perfect. The top hat.
Tongue drum.
Yes. No, I said top
Love them.
on purpose. It's like a Guyanese drum. Do you want to go next, Danielle?
Sure. During the meditation, 2 things came right away. About the retreat I want to plan, I put it in my head that I'd like to start planning it after I get my daughter into college, or at least like we have to get all the paperwork in, FAFSA, essays, all that August 1st, and then I could dive into the retreat. But Excuse me, puppy.
Even he's
Squeaky
saying,
toy. Do you hear the squeaky toy?
he's like, you're distracting yourself. You're distracting yourself.
He's so squeaky toy right now, my puppy. But then some, I don't know if it was like my guides or the universe, but I heard you are scared to do a retreat because you don't want to deal with difficult personalities. And I'm like, but I'm not going to attract difficult personalities. That's not me. But
Yeah.
that came up. So I don't know what that means.
Mm.
And then going live, I have no problem talking in front of thousands. I've sung in front of thousands, and I don't have a problem playing in front with people, with bands and another person as acoustic gig. But my block is going live by myself, and that also came up because when I look at amazing musicians that have mastered one instrument, they are like goddesses of their instrument. They went to Juilliard and they just know how to play that one instrument that I could never play that. It's like incredible years of practice. But then I play instruments great enough to sing and accompany myself or play sound baths. And some people can't do that. Like I play a lot of instruments. So
Yes.
that was a
You're doing a
realization I
whole
had.
band.
Yeah, like I play a little bit of everything and I don't have to master one. I
If you
think
were Holly, you would be playing them all at once.
yeah, it's silly. So the download I got was like, don't be scared to like just pick up your guitar and sing and record it, or don't be scared to just be by yourself without other musicians. It's very silly. Like I'm more confident with the sound baths because I've done a lot of events. But as far as singing songs or original music by myself, that's something that came up as like my perfectionism block. And to just make time to do that. It was like make time to do it because that's like a soul passion that makes you happy.
Yeah.
And it's a way to share some light that will attract things into my life in an easier way than like me planning something out. It's just like we'll open up magic. That's what I got. Yeah.
Okay, my homework for you.
Okay.
I knew it was coming. As I want to encourage you to intuitively go live with the instruments that you feel the most called to. You know, one thing I remember during the course when we were doing it, that I was like, all right, just put out the reel, just put out the reel, just put it out. And then you finally did it and you did the sonic pyramids. And so many people never saw that literally even my mom like sent me it. She's like, what does ting? She was like, so like intrigued by it.
That's so funny. That's
And
the most watched reel on my page.
that's what I'm saying. You have such unique instruments and expressions when you're doing it that it brings people and it makes them engage. So what if you did a live where it's like
Puppy.
he's getting so excited?
He's
What
so happy.
if
Give
you
me a
did a live,
puppy.
what if you did a live where it's like a one woman sound healing band and you just showed people like all of these cool sound instruments that half the people probably don't know about? Because
Yeah,
you have a whole studio.
that's a good idea. I have to have more fun
Check
and
this
use more intuition.
And then my other homework for you, we're going to work on it together when I see you for our session. But I want you to start thinking about the retreat locations. And I know you went back and forth with a few ones, but just you don't even have to discuss them now. Just make a list. I would say
They're published on my website on the retreat page. I did it late last night. I wrote, these are the 5 locations coming up.
Wow, look at you. You already tapped into the energy before
I
they
did.
came. I'm proud of you. Okay, I'm proud of you.
It's on the retreat page. I put 5 locations.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, what about you, Queen Karen?
What came up for me was make the time. Because it's always about like, well, okay, I don't have the time in order to do this, or I don't have the time to go make this reel, or, show up on stories or create this caption. So, it's about like, okay, well, if you want the time added back and you want the task to get done, then how are you supposed to like create the time? And creating the time is pretty much like paying someone to support you, or, you know, putting aside like 5 other tasks in order to getting it done. So it's about like making the time in order to complete my action.
Exactly. And just like kind of tuning into that energy, and also recognizing that what you have to offer like deserves to be out there. And
Right.
in that power, it's like, there's certain people who know nothing about accounting, and you need to be that person for them. For them, that's like all the time in the world. So finding the right people to help you play the parts of your business that are the missing pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking
Mm-hmm.
of which, this is my this is my ways to work with me. So I'm just gonna go over this really quick, and it's so funny because we're a little meeting up tomorrow. But I'm also doing this for the people who are who are watching the recording. Hi, people watching the recording. What's up? So basically, there's 3 major ways to work with me. I do intuitive business mentoring sessions, which can either be a one-time session, which is like a super in-depth, like 90-minute business overview session, or there's like monthly packages also available where I'll work with someone's business in like a month container where we meet several times during the month and do different projects together in like a mentoring capacity, and I help to advise you on your business in different ways, especially focusing on marketing systems, flow, and overall energetics of your business. Then I also have done for you marketing services, from content creation to website design to graphic design. I have over 10 years of marketing experience now, including like, reels creation, videography, and things like that. And also creating graphics on Canva and creating like a social media plan and strategy. That's some of my specialty. And then I also have 2 retreats coming up, and one is with the lovely Queen Caitlin. It's going to be in October in Costa Rica, where my home is, or also in December. We're going to Egypt. Pack your bags. So, if any of those called to you as well, or if you guys are interested in one of the following offerings, you could set up a time to connect with me. And one thing that I'll say about my offerings is that it's really unique based on the person for these types of services. Tabitha has been working with me for a while, so she's seen like the different things that we've done together and stuff like that, and we've just evolved and moved through so many different projects together. Yay.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so incredible. I meet with her on a weekly basis, and I went on a retreat with her. So, highly recommend. Amazing,
Yay.
beautiful experience.
Woo. Yeah. Yay. I'm so glad you guys joined me today. It's I'm like, is it a Friday or a Saturday? I'm like, it's a Friday night, like, and here we are, our business boss queens, like tuning in, healing ourselves, embracing our futures together. And I think that one of the most important things, like in these little classes, and especially smaller containers, that we actually got to know each other too. And I encourage you all to genuinely support each other's businesses, send each other stuff. If you guys have questions about things, if you need someone to bounce things off of, like, we're here to like create a community and support each other through it all, because it's not easy, doing this line of work, and you don't know it until you're in it. Like when people see us on Instagram, they're like, oh, she's so cute, she's doing this, she's doing that, and she's sparkly and magical, and then low key you're like, it's not working, nothing is working. So we're all going through it in different ways, but we're all also, this is like a beautiful life that we've chosen to live. And I think to also honor that we get to live this life, because for you to even get to this point where you're at your soul business, you had to do so much work that most people do not understand unless they went through it themselves. So literally, I want you guys to take this moment to just congratulate yourself and take time to like literally give yourself like a hug tonight and just be like, my dreams are coming true. I'm already living it, you know? That's the process, because sometimes we forget that the version of us 4 years ago would be jumping for joy that we are where we are at now. I always forget that. So, yay! Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you need anything, just send a message, add each other all. I think you already have on Instagram. And yay, we'll all be connected. And we're all on Long Island too, by the way. So, you know. Okay, enjoy your evening. Bye, everyone.